Hi guys, it's Sherry. Today we're going to be making a butterfly necklace, and the very first thing that we are going to do is roll out our white Primo clay to the second thickest setting on our pasta machine. Now we are also going to be using some Crackle paste. I'm using the translucent one. And we're also going to be using a texture sheet. You could use any one that you choose. I want to use flowers because this is going to be my spring necklace. So first, just lay down your texture sheet onto your clay and make sure it's in position. I just like to kind of push it down to make sure it's not going to move on me. And then I take my rolling pin and make a good impression by rolling it. Oops. And you can see I have this beautiful imprint now. Let me pull this up. You see how pretty that looks. Next, we are just going to cut a few of these out. And all I'm doing is smoothing out my edges here. There's not much smoothing to do. These cutters work wonderful. I'm going to get my glass here. Let me wipe this off. All right. So I'm just going to lay each one of these down. And this way I can work on my butterflies without them moving out of place. So see, I can move this and they'll stay in place. All right, so next I'm going to get my little hole puncher and I'm going to put little holes right on the edge of each one of these wings. And I'm leaving plenty of room so I know when I put my jump rings on, they will not break. You just want to leave enough room on the edge so it's not too close. So you see how I have that, like a nice little space there? Just leave enough room there. All right, so next we're going to get our Crackle paste. And I have a paintbrush here, and I'm going to put this on, and I am going to put it on pretty thick. I want a nice layer on this, and as it dries, it will start to give me that little crack look, the crackled look. The thicker you put it on, the thicker your cracks will be. All right. So now I will let those completely dry. I'm going to rinse out my brush. And next we will make our beads. So I'm going to roll this out to my second thickest setting. And then I'm just going to grab a regular round cutter. And the bigger that you go, the bigger your bead will be. So the reason I'm using my cutter is so all my beads are the same size when I roll them up. And then I'm just going to take them and make them into a ball. So very, very simple. You don't have to be perfect initially, because we're going to reshape them then. I just want to make sure that they're rounded and smooth. So now I have my 8 small little round balls here. Next, I'm going to get my little tips here. So these are from Create Along. I absolutely love these, and I found a really neat way of making beads. So get your bead, make it round, and then kind of just push it a little bit on there, make sure it stays there, and then take the other one, the top half, and then we are going to push down on that. And that's about the thickness I want my beads to be. So while they are on the tip like that, I'm going to get my little screw bits is what I call them. I'm not sure the exact name of these. And then I will push these in. And those will be my connectors. And I'm going to do one on each side. And make sure they're level. You could do little eye hooks, the same thing. Or eyelets. So there, now I have my little flower, and I have like a little sunflower on that side. And I'm going to do that with each one, and then we will color them. You see how pretty that looks? And you could put these little pieces in after they're off. I just like to put them on while they're there. I mean, how easy can be making a bead? I mean, this is so simple. So I'm going to show you, you could do it after you take it off. So. And then you could reshape it if you want. All right, so next, I want to lay these all up around here. And I am going to get my little palette here. And I'm just going to use my finger. And then I'm going to go right around and start putting my mica powder on here. I like to kind of make sure they stay in place if possible. This is such a simple way of making beads, and you really get such a beautiful look out of this. So there's one side, and then we could flip them. And we could do the other side. Let me see. Let me wipe my finger off. This one I'm going to use a lighter color. Look how beautiful that looks. And how easy was that? So simple. Okay. So now I'm going to let all of these sit here until that is done. And then when these are done drying, we'll do the next step. All right, guys, so my pieces are completely dry. I'm going to pull one of these up because I want you to see. It's hard to tell because it's white, but can you see those cracks in there? So here's like a nice big one. So there's little cracks throughout the piece because of that crackle paste. So my next step is going to be using my mica powders. So I want to use the same colors that I used on my beads here. And I want to lay these down flat, make sure they're on the glass well. And then I'm going to push this down into those cracks. And now you're really going to be able to see those cracks really well. And the reason I put the imprint on there is so you can still see something if it doesn't crack in a certain area. So here's a perfect example, like right here, it didn't crack too much, but you can still see those beautiful flowers underneath. And the really nice part about this is you can see I'm wiping this here, and the only thing that is sticking, the only thing this mica powder is sticking to is the actual cracks. So now I'm going to do my edges as well. And I love doing things like this. Now you could have cracked your edges, but I didn't feel like I needed to do that because I felt like my pieces were not overly thick. So I'm going to do 3 in this color, and then I'll do 2 in that color. This gives such a beautiful distressed look. I love this. One more. I like to just kind of move them around and make sure those are open. And you could do this with any color and then do like a black background. I wanted to really do this white and have my colors pop in the cracks. And now I'll go to this one. Let me lift this up, just kind of make sure everything's nice and open. This one cracked beautiful. And I'm going to also mica powder the backs. These are gorgeous. I love this distressed look. See how pretty that looks? So now I'm going to get the backs. All right. See how pretty those look? And you can still see the little flowers underneath and the designs. I love that. I am going to do a little bit of the sides here. I just feel like if I do a little bit, it'll kind of finish them off and leave in most of the white for the top. Because I feel like that'll make it all blend nicely together. You see, that kind of, to me, looks a little bit better. So I'm going to do that with each one of my beads. And I'm not going to put it on overly dark. I just want some color there. Just think of all the colors you could do these beads with. I mean, we have a lot of beautiful colors here. And I know Create Along has like a bunch of different colors. This is the only palette I have so far. Eventually I'll get more, but I absolutely love all these colors. All right, so now I'm going to take everything, I'm going to put it in my oven, 275, and I'm going to bake it. These will be a half hour. These ones I'll probably do about 45 minutes because they are thicker, and then we'll come back and assemble everything. All right, guys, so I ended up taking everything out of the oven. I put my Sculpey gloss or satin glaze on here. And to put that on, all you do is take a paintbrush and go over it until it's all dry. So now we're going to put everything together. This is really easy to do. I'm just going to get my pliers and start putting everything together. So just grab your jump rings and start connecting things. So you have to decide, do you want this side or that side to show? I'm going to go back and forth on each one. So since I did the rose on that one, I'm going to do my little sunflower on this side. And then I'm just going to kind of switch back and forth as I go. All right, so this one, you can see it sealed itself shut. So I'm just going to take my little drill bit here, and I'm going to reopen that. If you try to force your jump rings in, you will end up snapping your piece. So be very careful when you're putting your jump rings on, and make sure that you're not forcing anything in. Okay, so now I'm just going to add 2 beads here, and then that should easily complete our necklace off. All right, last thing is I want to put my clasp on. Let me go get that. Okay. This will just close. This one we will add and then put our clasp on. All right, guys, and there we go. Is that not absolutely beautiful? I want to show you the detail into all those little cracks. And then the beads. Talk about an easy bead to make. Look how beautiful each one is. I'm really happy the way that this came out, and I hope that you guys enjoyed creating along with me. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye!